Hey guys, welcome to Late Night on Base. I'm your host, Bill the Bull, and on today's episode, we are honored to have Rachel Rose on the show. She is an accomplished author and educator in the Web3 space. She has extensive experience with ETHDenver, Edcon, and she's also involved with the AYB and TYBG teams. So we dive deep into what Edcon is, what these events are, ETHDenver, but also we get to know who Rachel is and her journey as to going from Web 2 to now becoming an expert and a leader in Web 3. So we hope you enjoy the episode. Rachel, thank you so much for taking the time to come on to Late Night on Base. You are one busy, busy lady. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, just staying busy, another day doing what I love with the community I love. I can't complain, Bill the Bull. And thank you for having me on. This is so cool. I'm usually the one hosting these kinds of things, like doing the podcasting. So yeah, it's nice to be on the other side.
No, it's an honor to have you on. And yesterday, I really appreciate you jumping on to my spaces that I did. I do it every Monday, and you jumped on. And when you came on, there was just like this energy shift of like great vibes and like really good conversation. So I appreciate the insight that you imparted on my community.
Dude, the energy was just impeccable on that space. Like, I don't know, there is a different energy within the base community. Like, you can tell everybody is genuinely so excited to be there and be a part of this. So, yeah, just kind of like feeling that energy and sharing, authentic excitement on that space. It was a lot of fun, man. And I'll be there for future ones too.
Love to have you anytime, open invite. So Rachel, tell me, for maybe those that aren't familiar with you, why don't you, briefly explain, who are you? Who's Rachel Rose?
Yeah. So, who am I? So, I would say what I'm very passionate about is impact. I've really started in the space with the mindset of how can we make the world a better place and empower individuals. I started doing this in my pre-blockchain life by starting my own business called Elixir of Life. So, started a juice company. I've always been really passionate about helping people. Started giving out cleansing packages, vending at events and music festivals, and just really loved seeing the nutrition light people up. And that was something, in a past life I focused on. And like many of us, discovering DAOs, discovering Web3 and blockchain and the potential it holds, my life went in a completely different trajectory. So, heard about this little event called ETHDenver, some of you might know. And yeah, was also working on a 9 to 5 as I was running my business. Super Web 2 in the credit industry, not feeling fulfilled, discovered DAOs, discovered Web3, and kind of had this double life happening. Like, I couldn't wait to get off my 9 to 5 job and just like go in the chats and talk to all my friends, work on DAOs. And that life started to become bigger and bigger and more fulfilling to me. So, anyway, going back to ETHDenver, I was invited out to speak about DAOs at one of the events called DAO Denver happening during ETHDenver. So, I was met with a choice. I was at this crossroads. Do I stay in my 9 to 5 or do I jump into the abyss and put myself out there for an opportunity that, became a dream to me, publicly speaking, getting out there, making an impact in the Web3 space. Ended up going out to ETHDenver, getting a job, doing my first public speaking engagement. And, here I am years later, just so blessed. And yeah, just happy to be building community. I've worked on several Web3 organizations such as Harmony Protocol, Opolis for several years, where I got even more connected with the ETHDenver community. And now I'm working on the University of Ethereum and throwing Edcon in Tokyo next year. And a huge supporter of the base community, and we can jam on that more too.
I mean, that's just super impressive, everything you just said. And aren't you glad you just took the leap of faith to go from, your traditional.
Absolutely. And it actually was a crossroads. Like, I had to make a choice. My employer, wanted me at my desk 9 to 5, didn't want me to travel at the time. And I locked in this speaking engagement and had an interview lined up. And I thought to myself, I gotta jump in. I gotta jump into the abyss and, buy the ticket, take the ride. And I'm so happy I did. It was honestly one of the best choices of my life,
that
leaving the
that's
9 to 5
incredible.
world.
That's incredible. And I mean, sometimes, it's that leap of faith that kind of changes the direction of your life. And you just
Yeah,
have to,
absolutely.
some people are too scared to take, the unknown plunge because it is an unknown plunge going into something
For
you're
me,
not
it was
familiar with.
scary to stay in that old world. Like, is this gonna be my life? So yeah, I mean, seeing the freedom that DAOs gave me initially, like getting to work with who I want, when I want, and just really focus on the value and the impact versus like, hourly. I really love that freedom and flexibility of work.
That's incredible. So let's talk about ETHDenver overall. So, for those that maybe not are truly new to the ETH ecosystem, to the base ecosystem, is ETHDenver something that happens every year? Can you just explain? Is that like the Super Bowl of the Ethereum events? Like, what
It
exactly is ETHDenver?
Well, you took the words out of my mouth, Bill. So, yes, it is often referred to as the Super Bowl of Web3 events. Basically, every year this event is growing. We don't call it a conference; it's a community innovation festival. So, yeah, a lot of people come from around the world. It's growing every single year. Projects from around the world, people from around the world. I've been on like working on the Opolis team, and now with the University of Ethereum and Edcon. I've had the chance to work closely with both of the ETHDenver founders. I've worked on, my past two teams with them. So I see the care, I see the dedication. It is an event like no other. It's an experience like no other. There's no replacement for that IRL community building, connecting with people, the friendships, the camaraderie. It's unparalleled. Like I've been to events and conferences around the world, and there's nothing like ETHDenver. Like I have others that I really enjoy, but ETHDenver just has a special energy to it, man. Like Denver just turns into like I don't know, this blockchain and Web3 mecca for several weeks where I get to see all my friends, projects that I know, and yeah, it's just really like nothing else. And it's choose your own adventure. Like you can go with any focus, any intention, and you'll get out of it with the intention you put out. There's really something for everyone there.
That's amazing. You're making me want to get a plane ticket to go to Denver for the next event. I gotta head
It's
out
gonna
there.
be your new favorite event. Like, yeah, it's
When
it's
when
kind of
is
like
it?
that can't miss one.
When is
It's
it normally?
usually from February to March. I think it's kind of going into later February, early March these days. So yeah, highly recommend going. There's something called Biddle Week. I've actually hosted and curated a Biddle Week event during ETHDenver, where basically we bring a bunch of builders together. We get different projects. We do kind of like workshop sessions that are really fun. And then actually this year I did my first talk on one of the main stages about DAOs and community. So yeah, that's usually what I jam on. So
Awesome. That's incredible. And like I said, those are the type of events in real life that you can really network with people and get to meet people. And there's no experience like it than the IRL connection that you meet. So
absolutely. And for anyone looking to get into working in Web3, this year I also hosted an event called the Web3 Career Hub, which was at the main venue of ETHDenver. So we thought to ourselves, like, there should be something for people who are looking for work. We should have a headshot station, right? Take professional headshots, help them with building their resumes, get recruiters, different teams that are hiring. And it was such a success. And like, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up happening again next year too. So really good place to kind of be a launch pad as well for your Web3 career.
if you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube, you just heard Rachel say, you looking to get into Web3, you now know where to go, where to start. Get yourself out there,
Yeah.
go to Denver, meet people like Rachel, and I think that's the step in the right direction. So you had the experience in Eat Denver, and now you're involved with Edcon in Tokyo. What's that like? What's the difference between that? I mean, Tokyo, that must be just really, really cool. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, I mean, you read my mind. I was going to bring that up next. So yeah, making this transition. I worked on the Opolis team for several years. Got to see, the inside look at the ETHDenver experience, and then also, one of the co-founders, like I mentioned from ETHDenver, is on the Edcon team and the University of Ethereum team. So shout out to Justin. Yeah, invited me to come build this amazing conference in Tokyo, and I think the coolest aspects of this are the location, the venue, the caliber of speakers and projects we're working with are just out of this world. So yeah, I'll kind of tease a little bit here. So yeah, EdCon 2024, it's happening July 24th to July 30th. This is going to be in Shibuya, Tokyo. And we've actually been we're partnered with the local Shibuya government, and they've actually given us a two-time Olympic stadium to host this event. Like, no
Wow.
joke, like it is a massive stadium where they've hosted the Olympics two times. So our side events too, some of our activations that are happening in the earlier days of EdCon, rather part of the main event, not side events, are happening at the United Nations University. So I'm actually taking point on one of those events called Ethereum Quorum. Essentially, it's a convergence of different thought leaders in the space, and we're going to basically talk about our identities, our different problems that we're passionate about solving in the space, and then kind of break out into like a model UN type session where we talk about how we can solve different problems in the United Nations University, which is the academic arm of the UN in Tokyo. So yeah, that's one cool aspect of it. We have super demo day happening where different builders can come out and propose their projects and actually get funded for them. We'll have judges from different sponsoring teams who will select the winners. So there's cash prizes for builders. There's going to be a lot of like thought leaders coming and discussing different problems we're solving in the Web3 space. And then the main event, like the main days happening at the Olympic Stadium, Yoyogi National Gymnasium, is going to feature, speakers like Vitalik and Ethereum core researchers. We have a Grammy award winning DJ coming and performing. I won't spill the beans there, but if you go on our website, you can see. So yeah, just the caliber of speakers and projects is really exciting. So yeah, I'll share like links and resources too. If anyone wants to get involved, we are like actually a month out here. So yeah, if you're interested in getting involved, there's hacker houses, there's travel grants. So yeah, you can reach out to me. My handle on Telegram and Twitter is at Rachel Roseby.
And we'll make sure if you're watching on YouTube, we'll have all your links in the description. So for anyone following and watching this amazing podcast, you will have all Rachel's links down below
Woo-woo.
in the description. That's actually really cool. So is this the first time that Edcon has been in Tokyo, or has this first time?
Yeah, so this is the first time that the Edcon team is going to Tokyo. If you were to look at our website or see anything we've done in the past, Edcon kind of rotates to wherever we see the promise of blockchain being adopted, right? In that country or in that region. For instance, with Tokyo, it's been chosen because the Prime Minister of Japan has really created a positive climate for the blockchain industry. They want to bring more innovation and in tech and finance there. They want to celebrate what we're doing in Web3, which I mean, for those of us in the United States, it's like the complete opposite. So that's going to be a treat. But yeah, in other years, they've gone to Montenegro, they've gone to Sydney, a bunch of other places, even online. Basically depending on at that time what's the most strategic move to get massive adoption, right? So yeah, that's why they've chosen Tokyo this year because the country wants to bring more innovation and celebrate our industry there.
And I think that's super cool to be a part of, countries or do these conferences in countries that do embrace Web3. As you said, it's refreshing to see that they want to embrace, they want to bring in the pioneers versus, unfortunately, USA, which is still, stagnant in that. So it's really good to reach out to the different countries. I would assume, like, I mean, Portugal, things like those natures.
Mhm.
That's really, really cool. And I think, especially for, people in Web3, it's a great chance to visit leaders in the space, and it's a really cool location. So I highly recommend, I can't go to this one, but the next one I gotta go to that one too. You're making me book a lot of plane flights, Rachel, with all this talk.
I mean, yeah, if you ever come out to ETHDenver or EdCon, just know you'll have a friend there. I'll be your
Absolutely.
tour guide if you want.
Yes.
I can show you the
Yes.
different events and all the things to
Amazing.
see. So yeah, I'll be there.
Appreciate that. So Rachel, let's talk a little bit about base. So obviously you have a core ETH, max, not maxi, but like ETH is in your blood, Ethereum,
Yeah.
everything. And I know similarities, Base and ETH are basically hand in hand, and Base is trying to become the number one layer two in the space. Kind of wanted to dive in. What are your thoughts on Base as a layer two, and what makes you so excited for it?
Well, first I'll start with I have never seen such a positive and aggressive push to bring people on chain in such a short amount of time. Based only being what, like 9 months old at this point, 10 months old, to see the amount of on chain activity, like I get chills when I talk about this. It has been so impressive. It's been so exciting. That's one element of it. Also being a part of on chain summer, the excitement is just through the roof with everybody. Yeah, I got to give a huge shout out to Jesse Pollock. I've connected with him and been chatting with him one on one, and I'm really inspired by the mission. I think it's like one of the most impressive things I've seen through my years in the space. Another thing is the community, man. The community has really changed my life. Like I wake up every day excited to, talk to friends and be active in the chats and on Twitter, on spaces. It's just fun, it's making it a really fun experience for those who are just being brought on chain. Also, huge shout out to Cryptic Poet. Cryptic Poet's the first one to intro me to the base community. And now I'm very deep in the weeds. So thank you for Cryptic Poet if you ever listen to this. And then also, the Thank You Base God community, All Your Base, those are projects that have really, kind of helped to change my life and give me something to look forward to with my work. So yeah, very grateful for the friends I've made and for the different projects I'm connected with. Yeah, also shout out to Base Disciple. I think Base Disciple is also going to be coming on the podcast.
Thursday. Yeah, I'm excited. No, I think this is just such a refreshing ecosystem. I've never been a part of something where it's just so community oriented. I've been in crypto for a while, but I never really felt like a sense of community. Like I've degen with like the rest of them on Solana, Pulse Chain, all those things, but I never really like wanted to get involved as like a content creator or really just host spaces. It wasn't until about early June that I decided I just see this sense of camaraderie on base. And it starts with Jesse. You're right. I don't know Jesse. I've never met him. Hopefully I do get to meet him one day. Hopefully get him on the pod. Jesse, if you're listening, late night on base, you got a spot anytime, but it starts with him, and he's just pushing collaboration, and he wants to see this ecosystem grow and this chain grow, helping projects in the spotlight. And it's just contagious because now it's truly a builder helps builder economy that we have here, which is so refreshing versus like a player versus player on different chains. So it's just a collaboration. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and it's just so like amazing to be a part of. And you touched on AYB, shout out to him. Captain's a really good guy. He's helped introduce me to a lot of different people. And, I'm looking forward to the TYBG, convo. What exactly, I guess, with base, let's put the crystal ball in front of Rachel.
Okay.
You can predict some stuff. Where do you see
Hmm.
base 6 months from now?
6 months from now, I see it continuing to bring people on chain. I mean, BaseCon being a huge success, bringing people together in the IRL event space. And my hopes are that Base continues to be, leading the on chain and also IRL event space. I, hope that something like BaseCon can evolve to a regularly occurring event and a conference that people look forward to. And yeah, I just see it continuing to revolutionize our space and bring more people on chain, man. And also, like, all the communities, like the meme coin communities and projects that are coming out of base, I see them continuing to grow. I see more big partnerships, like you see Adidas. NounsDAO has gotten more involved in base. Shout out to NounsDAO. We're actually doing a meetup after EdCon, and yeah, I guess a little bit of alpha. I did apply to do a decentralized base meetup during EdCon, so we'll see if that happens. The application's in. So yeah. Anyway, back to your question. 6 months from now, I just see base continuing to innovate and bring people on chain and grow their IRL presence as well in the community.
I think you're 100% right. I think it's going to be massive. I think this bull run in 6 months, we're going to be fully in a bull. I'm very much 2024 is complete bull run. Like I think the second half, and I think base is leading the charge. It will. I think what they're
Absolutely.
doing with the smart wallet, I think they're creating the mechanism to onboard the 1 million normies, quote unquote. And it's just going to see like this ecosystem flourish. So I'm excited to see what
Yeah.
happens and continue these discussions, and just we'll circle back in 6 months and see if our predictions right.
Absolutely. One other thing I'll say is that the UI, the UX, Coinbase and Coinbase Wallet, it's just fun to use. It's
Mhm.
easy to use. And that is what we need more of in the Web3 space. There's a lot of, dApps that are so complex and not user friendly. Like what Coinbase and Base are doing is just so needed. I see them kind of like checking all the boxes of like, yep, we need to do this to evolve. We need to do this to evolve. Stand with crypto so we can get more friendly regulation in the US. Like everything they're doing is like exactly what we need in this industry to thrive, to grow, and to create, the next internet. So yeah,
Yeah, it's with a leader like Coinbase involved. I mean, and the resources they have, and their standing. We're honestly in the right place at the right time in life. So I feel blessed, just even being a part of this small, minuscule part of this ecosystem. So,
Absolutely. And I also have a question for you, Bill. I'm curious
ooh,
what got you into the base ecosystem? Like what got you bullish on base?
I that's a great question. Oh, it's kinda nice having questions asked to me because it's how you were
Because I'm
referring to
used
right? I love it. I
I'm
love
used to
it.
being in your look, I actually hosted and produced Crypto Sapiens through Bankless DAO. So yeah,
I
I'm
I
used to sitting in
I
your seat,
love it.
man.
I love that. It's nice to answer your question. Like, it's refreshing. It's like, "Oh." No, to answer your question, I mean, listen, bass, I noticed it occurring last summer. I didn't partake. Honestly, in 2023, there was a couple projects popping off, and, at that time, I was fully Pulse Chain, actually. I really like the Pulse Chain community because I like the fact of, like, having an alternate solution to Ethereum, which the gas fees, I just thought there's potential. And so it wasn't until March that I took notice of what's happening on base. It was hard to, and then it just clicked. I don't know what it was. Maybe I started deep diving into kind of like the top down, like what Jesse was doing and learning about him and just the ecosystem, the collaboration. And yeah, I mean, I've been a part of a few projects like as an investor, and so I got in touch with, like, that whole community, and I love that. What stood out to me the most was not only the cheap fees, but just the sense of collaboration amongst everyone. And it wasn't like just, "Hey, I'm gonna buy something and leave and never talk to you again," or like, "Hey, you're a different founder, don't talk to me." It's just more mature. It was like a mature ecosystem that I like to be a part of. And so I'm never leaving. I love it. And then yeah, with this whole content creation, I was just like, I like to speak. I want to meet more cool people. Why don't I just do a podcast? And here we are.
There you go. I mean, that is oh my gosh, my journey in the beginning of podcasting, man. I'm so grateful I did it. It helps you grow so much professionally, personally, your networking skills, just even being more confident in speaking.
Yeah,
When I first started out, like I had a lot of hurdles and a lot of challenges, and as I went on, just became better and better at it. And it's a very transformative journey. So really proud of you, Bill, for just grabbing the bull by the horns and doing it.
I appreciate that, Rachel. I have to ask though. I hear word on the street is you are a number one bestseller. I need to
Yes.
know. I need to know about what this book is. Tell the community all about your number one best-selling book.
Yeah, you guys, I mean, I don't really talk about it that much, but yeah, I wrote a book with a group of co-authors. So got together with 15 other entrepreneurs that are really focused on making an impact. And we all co-authored this book together. It's called Impact Entrepreneur. Of course, I talk about Web3. I talk about blockchain. I talk about how it can empower individuals and the importance of education in the space. And yeah, it became a number one bestseller on Amazon. You can look it up, Impact Entrepreneur. Also got it in the Barnes and Noble store in Boca Raton in Florida. So we did a little, mini book tour event, got it in Barnes and Noble, and became a number one bestseller on Amazon. So that was a really, really cool experience. Kind of showed me how to get a book published, kind of like the process of that. So yeah, it was a really transformative experience, and I learned a lot.
Fascinating, and congratulations to you. Obviously, that is something that very few people accomplish in their lives. So truly, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, if anybody wants to hear more about my story too, like I talk about, how I got started starting my first business, why I've prioritized the things that I'm now doing in blockchain and Web3. So if you're interested to hear more about my story and more about what I'm working on, feel free to check out the book.
Rachel, before we head out, is there any last words that you have for the community?
I will say, I mean, this is for the base community. I'll say AYB is working on some really exciting things. I've been working more closely with their team, and they do have a launch pad coming up. So any day now, if you're following the AYB account, you will see a post about our launch pad, encouraging people to come build on base and build with the AYB team. So yeah, that should be coming out any day now. And yeah, I just think the team's amazing. If you check out their origin story, they're block zero on base. So yeah, really exciting stuff with their team. And yeah, for anyone that wants to come build on base and build with an amazing OG meme community, definitely stay tuned for that post.
And I second that. Captain from AYB is a top grade guy, and he's a great leader, and he's really, really insightful, and he's a great builder. If you don't know much about him and you're listening, please check out the podcast I did with him. Really insightful. And so yeah, Rachel, listen, I literally could speak to you for another hour, 2 hours, but we'll have you on again. Would you be interested? We'll do this again
Heck
sometime.
yeah. I'm here for it, buildable. I'm here for it. If you ever want to have me on again, if you want to have me on a Twitter space, like I live and breathe this stuff. I love showing up for the community, and Base is doing it like no other project. So I'm here for it. Sign me up for all the things. And yeah, for anyone like I mentioned earlier that wants to get involved with EdCon, I would love to see Base more involved with the Ethereum community. I will go out of my way to support you. I will plug you into all the things. I will do whatever I can to support any individual that's interested in traveling out. If you need a travel scholarship, you want to get involved with the Hacker House, you want to be a speaker, today is kind of the last day for that. But just DM me, and Bill will share my information and resources on this podcast. So, Bill, thank you so much. This has been awesome. This has been so much
Rachel.
fun.
No, thank you, Rachel, for coming on Late Night on Base. And everybody, again, if you're on Spotify, please, please, please go on Twitter so you can find this page on YouTube. All of Rachel's links will be below, especially we also want to include her book in there as well. So please check it out. Go check out our socials as well and subscribe if you haven't so we can produce more content like this. Rachel, thank you, and we'll chat soon.